Welcome to the Swedish Junior Hockey Podcast. Jacob Dahlin here, your host. The fourth member of the Bradford Rattlers now on this podcast, Jesper Eriksson. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much.
This episode is brought to you by Scandlux, your home for Scandinavian luxury products for the U.S. market. You can find us at scandlux.com.
So we spoke just before we hit the play button here. You are sitting right now where?
In Jönköping, I'm sitting right now.
Okay, the home of HV71, but you're
Exactly.
not there for hockey.
No, not now.
Let's here's the kind of couple of things I wanted to talk about today. You just finished up your year there with the Bradford Rattlers in Junior A in
Exactly.
Canada in the GMJHL, and then and now you're back and fresh, hot off the press, just signed a new contract in Hockeyettan, the third division in Sweden, right?
Yes, exactly. Was on a meeting yesterday with the team and all that, and got a photo for the signing and all that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's start with your background, because you're a Stockholm guy, but you played hockey gymnasium and juniors in Brynas.
Yes, exactly. I started my hockey career in Vallentuna, the team I'm now going to play for this year. Played there since I was like 5'6". Played 2 years before I went to Brynas in Täby. And after that, 3 years in Brynas, then the Corona year was a little bit back and forth. Then I went over to first GMJHL for until like Christmas or something.
Yep.
Went back, played like 2 weeks in Austria, and then 10 games in Forshaga. And then after that, this year, played for Bradford.
Yeah. So I know you've had a relationship with J20 Eriksson. He's been on the podcast for a while. Is that how you ended up with the Predators in Niagara?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And I know that he switched over there to Bradford. All right. So before we back, so the last couple of years here, 24 games with Niagara, 56 points, not a big deal.
No.
And then here with Bradford, 40 games with 76 points. So I know you were in the top of the league, but you were not the top of the of your team with those points.
No, I was second.
The Russian kid,
had
04,
an amazing year.
04 player too.
Yeah, exactly.
We should probably have him on as the fifth.
Probably.
I'm not sure how his English is though.
Not that good, but start learning.
Yeah, that's good.
More and more.
But let's go back to so Täby, good organization.
Yeah, really good.
Really good. A lot of good players have come out of there. And how did you end up in Brynas in J18 West and hockey gymnasium there?
After like Pucken, I got like start getting more like opportunity. Teams want to have me there, so I had like think I was Brynas, Färjestad, Leksand, some of the team, and I ended up choosing Brynas.
Oh, wait a minute! So you chose Brynas over Leksand?
Yeah.
What did Rodin say about that?
I don't know.
So I, of course, for you that don't know, I grew up in Leksand. And it my blood bleeds white and blue. But Brynas is the arch rival.
Yeah, no, big rivalries every game.
But a good organization. I remember there as a kid in back in those days. It was called Gavlerinken. And awesome old barn with really steep bleachers.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I ask my son who played last year juniors, his favorite place to play was in that rink, and just a special place. Is this what's it called? Is it called Läkerol Arena now, or does it change?
No,
again?
it's like changed again. Yeah, like Monitor Air Arena or something.
Yeah, boo. We like the old names.
Yeah, really bad name now. I don't know why.
So what was your experience there? You played J18 Elite, which is now Region, and then Super Elite, which is now called National in J18 and
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a good experience. I had a good first year in J18, point per game, I think. Then second year, I think I got some games in when I played there called Super Elite. I got like some games the second year of my J18 season, and then I had one more season in Super Elite.
Yeah,
or National, like it's called now.
But then after the third year, so did you end up the 1920? Was that the year before COVID, or was that shortened because of COVID? Last year in Brynas.
That was the year before, I think.
Okay, so you got a full season in, and then how did you end up the choice of going back to Vallentuna? I see there. I'm looking at the hockey elite prospects. Only 9 total games that year because of COVID, right?
Yeah. No, I left Brynas because they didn't want to stick with me last year for my E20. So then I tried to go back to play with the senior team in Vallentuna, and I missed the spot by 1. So then I just played in E20 for that year, but then COVID hit and I didn't play it so much and just like practice with the A team and all that.
Yeah. So here's an interesting point that I want to hit on, which I think it's so tough. The competition at the J20 National, former Elite, Super Elite, it's a tough league. It's a
really tough league.
The competition from within. Brynas, one of the top teams in the nation.
Yeah.
Of course, they got relegated with the men's team this season. Will not play in SHL. First time in 60 years or something.
Yeah.
They're not in the SHL.
Tough.
But they're which means that but when you're in SHL with the adult team, you get an automatic spot in J20 National, but they've earned their spot. They've been in the top all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Which means that you're getting a lot of talent coming in.
Yeah.
So and then because of that, the last year of juniors, you're sitting there with not as many offers.
Not exactly.
How was that?
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough, but just deal with it. Like, I don't know exactly.
But you had a chance. So since you played in Hockeyettan, what was your options then after that COVID year and the choice of then going over to Canada? You're sitting there with some options.
Yeah, the year I choose to go over to Canada was like, I think I had a good spot to maybe play with Vallentuna that year too, but I didn't feel comfortable with the coach and we didn't have a good connection. So I choose to go to Canada instead and try that.
Yeah. So kind of a new opportunity.
Yeah, right? Exactly. I found Johan and tried that route instead.
Yeah. So how quickly did that materialize? Was that kind of a long discussion, or is that kind of a quick decision to make?
It was kind of quick. I think we started talking in the start of the summer that year, and then like in the middle of the summer, all was done and ready to go over there and play.
And so how was that in terms of, why GMHL, why Niagara, and why not the USHL? two big different divisions here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good question. I think because Johan was the GM of Niagara that year, so he wanted to play for his team and all that, and I think way cheaper too. And
in terms of the pay to play option, but I mean, so with that, because of COVID, it kind of sucks because you got a little bit of a tough break there. Just because you played Super Elite or J20 National doesn't mean that you're going to get an automatic spot in USHL or the North American Hockey League.
No, exactly.
And they don't know you exist, and it's tough to have those connections.
Yeah, exactly.
So
because I didn't play it so much that year when COVID hit, and they haven't seen a lot of me, so that's where it was very tough to find a new team.
Yeah. So how was it then to make the well, what was the discussion with? Was this a decision that you made yourself, or how was your parents involved in that at that time?
Yeah, I talked with them too, but I think it was more like I want to try something new, and it was a great opportunity to like move away, be by my own, and like just test that thing and see how that goes.
Yeah. So let's talk about that first year. First time with a billet family?
Yeah, I think I lived with Johan and some more staff, I think, and 2 other Swedes in a basement, I think.
So how was that?
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, Johan's a good guy. I mean, he is.
And of course, it was kind of good when you live with all the Swedes too, and can talk and all that.
So I'm looking at the roster for that year. 4 Swedes that year.
Yeah.
Madsen, Eriksson, Insulander. Wow, he had some numbers there too. Gothenburg guy, looks like. Or Sträng. Okay, he's a Stockholm guy.
I think all is like Stockholm guys that year.
Yeah.
And like just outside.
He looks like he's playing Division 2 in Hanhals. That's outside of
Gothenburg.
Exactly. Yep. And let's look up Emil Eriksson. He is playing Hallstahammar in Division 2, and then Madsen.
I think Värnamo or something.
Värnamo, yep. So they're all still playing.
Yeah.
But all of those 3 guys did 1 year, and you ended up staying but you're an 01, so how did you end up with an extra junior year?
Because it's 1 more year over in the US and Canada, so it was nice for me to have that opportunity.
But it's also a bit unique with the GMHL that they allow.
Yeah, you can have more overages too.
Yeah. If you were to play in the CJHL in the OJHL as an example, then I don't think they allow any overagers. No,
was I think only this league in Canada allow it, I think.
Yeah. One of the a lot of people. So let's talk about the GMHL. You played 2 seasons there with 2 different teams.
Yeah.
And the GMHL gets a bad rap sometimes, and they call it kind of crash league and that kind of stuff. But it is considered Tier 3, but Junior A. It is pay to play. But what's your opinion of the difference between going from J20 National in Brynas to GMHL?
I think the level of players, there's some good players there.
Yep.
But the lower tier players are way worse than in national.
Yeah,
I would say that's the big part, I think.
What did it do for you in terms of going over to play? Was that a restart for you, gaining confidence, scoring a bunch of
points? Exactly. Yeah, that to get more ice time, all that, play power, play box, play big guy you can rely on and be that type of guy.
Well, how does if you were to describe your game last year, Brynas, you know, you're 6'4", 212. You're not a, let's put that out there. You're not a small guy. But when you last year J20, what size were you then? Have you always been a big guy?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
But what was your style of play in Sweden?
Depends. And last year in Brynas, I think I was more like a third, fourth line player. You just go out and kill their top guys and don't let them score. More like that guy.
Not necessarily
more power forward type. Yeah.
So how has that changed your game now 2 years in? I mean, the points that you've been putting up is pretty astounding. Not just goals, but assists as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When you get more confident, it feels it just goes better and better for every game, I think. For me, at least.
And playoffs both years, so you've gotten a lot of hockey.
Yeah, exactly. That's really good.
Even though, so the first year in Niagara, was that also COVID affected there?
Yeah, we played all from like just end of the summer to like Christmas break. And then COVID hit again as a small. And then then I didn't play anymore like there for that season. So I only played until Christmas.
Okay. So what's it like? What's a typical, so how does it, let's talk about the makeup of a normal week in Swedish juniors versus junior A in Canada. More ice time, same ice time? What's the difference?
Yeah, more ice time in Canada. I would say you're able to like skate way much more there, and they want you to like be better, and you're able to be at the rink and all that too. I would say.
What did you have practices, a skill in the morning, gym, and then practice?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Video sessions?
Yeah, it was really good in Bradford. We had video before every practice, every game, all that. So especially in Bradford, it was really good with all sort of stuff, practice and video.
And that's the impression that I've gotten too, in terms of course, the Rattlers won the championship as one of the, I mean, it is the top team in GMHL. Yeah. Yes, the league may be top to bottom, may not be as good, but the team would compete with other junior A leagues.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say to the Swedish guy that is now, when you've done this kind of experience and now you're coming back, you know, I'm sure it's been a fun ride.
Yeah, it's a really fun ride, and you get a lot of confidence too if you're a little player who was used to score a lot in younger age, and then you go to another better team and you play only fourth line, and now I went here and I'm start getting more confident, all that, and really fun year and all that.
Yeah. Let's now talk about going back.
Exactly.
You signed a contract with Hockeyettan.
Yeah.
Hockeyettan is considered a professional league. There are some guys there's a lot of young guys playing in that league. Let's talk about Hockeyettan as a league. What would you say about Hockeyettan?
Well, I feel it's getting better and better for every year, I think, and more players, at least this whole Swedes go in there, and it feels like every team is getting better and better, and it's tougher and tougher every year.
And it's I mean, for you're not working. This is what you do now. You're a hockey player. In that. And is Hockeyettan, is it still, is it four divisions?
I don't really know. For this year, it's going to be 5 divisions maybe, but it's going to be either 4 or 5 this year, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure because I know that there's a big difference between the southern tip. I think Kalix, and it's on in the northern end. There's a few teams up there that is Kiruna, which is really far up, mining town. It's a pretty good drive, but where you are in Vallentuna, that's outside of Stockholm, suburb of Stockholm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so does that mean you're able to live at home?
Yeah. I think I have 15 minutes to the rink, so it's really nice.
Yeah, because people may not know, getting a place, if you were an outsider coming into Stockholm, housing is not easy.
No, it's not cheap. Not cheap
and not cheap either.
No.
So that's great. Now you can focus on that. But so coming back, how has, since you were playing for Vallentuna, been gone for 2 years, what kind of different player are you now?
Ooh. If I get the chance, I think I have a really good chance of playing, like, be a top guy and maybe produce and all that too. I think I have the confidence right now to do it. So
yep,
I have a good off season. I think I have a good chance to be like a second center, third center or something.
Yep.
And be a guy you can rely on. I think so.
Yeah. What's your goals for this season? Is it kind of getting established? What are you looking for?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, like be established, to being shown as a hockey player. Maybe if I have a good year, I don't know, maybe work up in tiers and all that.
Yeah. Did you have any thoughts about staying over there in Canada and playing in college before you went back, or what was those decisions?
No, college was not a decision. I want to go school when I play because I want to put all time in hockey. So I wanted to stay and maybe play pro in US or Canada, but it was really hard to like get a team for this year.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna be better to have one or 2 year home and go from there and maybe get a contract over there later.
Yeah. What's in terms, I'm sure that there was colleges that were interested and had discussions with you, but you know, college is a different grind than
it is
than playing. So and a different it's a different environment.
Exactly.
So all right, last question here. And I think I sent this to you ahead of time, but since you are now, let's see, you're 21, turning 22 this year, right?
No, I turned 22.
You turned 22. So I've asked this to several people. You're one of the younger ones, but even you're 17. You're coming to Brynas. It's wide open, or maybe 16 or 17. If you yourself now, and you're the mentor to yourself 5 years older, what advice would you give to yourself that you know now that you didn't know back then?
Well, that's a hard question. I would say, like, take the chance you get and like show who you are, and like I don't know exactly, but be yourself and do what you want to do and be like do what you want to do.
Yeah,
I would say.
And I think you've done that. I mean, you left Stockholm, went to Brynas, and then there's a lot of people in your position that are, I'm looking at you get the news today that there's a lot of the J20 players that are signing with J20 teams right now, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that it's going to be tough for them this year, and you are coming in with a different perspective. 2 years older, 2 years more experienced, with full of confidence.
Yeah.
And they're coming in perhaps in a where you were, with a little bit of
exactly.
rejection feeling of, oh, I was hoping I was going to get an SHL contract. It didn't happen.
Now I need to show how and produce to get that back and all that.
Yeah.
You don't have the confidence right now to do it, maybe.
Yeah. So, no, I think that taking that chance, like you did, has panned off. Certainly, Bradford has enjoyed, you were a big part of that championship run. So, they're gonna miss you, I'm sure.
Yeah. Too bad I can't go back.
Yeah. Would you do it? Would you go back if you had a, was it that great of a year that you would have, if you had another year, you would have made it, you would have loved to do it again?
I don't. Depends.
Yeah. No, it certainly is an opportunity of a lifetime to be able to do something completely different.
Exactly.
Well, Jesper, we're going to keep an eye on you. I do listen to the Hockey Ettan podcast. I can't remember which is, if it's Trash Talk or Mjörnberg's Trash Talk podcast.
Yeah, something like that. I think I've seen it somewhere.
So I have gotten a lot more educated on the different teams and you know the what's going on. So I'll be looking to hear your name in their discussion. So good luck this season.
Yeah. Thank you so much.